video has a unique characteristic of allowing you to experience what you're seeing. It's oftentimes when we get emotional or cries when we're actually watching a video, your favorite movie.
Wedding films are changing how we remember love stories.
And I'm not downplaying photos at all, but yeah, the video aspect of that is captivating. You really feel like you're there, reliving the moment.
Hey, lovebirds, you've just tuned in to the Hawaii Wedding Podcast brought to you by HNL Studios. Joining me are two incredibly talented individuals who turn weddings into cinematic masterpieces. Zebery, our lead videographer at HNL Studios, who's filmed lots of beautiful weddings in Hawaii. And we also got Charles, the CEO and co-founder of HNL Studios. Together, they're here to spill the beans on making your wedding day extra special through amazing videos. So, Charles and Zeb, welcome to the podcast. Yeah, I want to start by asking Zeb, how did you get started with videography and eventually wedding films?
I got started in around 2018. I volunteered at a church that I started attending. It was Inspire Waikele. Started shooting some of their conferences. Fell in love with just shooting video, and from there I had gotten connected with Charles at HNL Studio. He asked if I wanted to or was interested in shooting weddings, and I thought that would be an awesome opportunity. And being in Hawaii, I knew that they would be beautiful. So yeah, that's how I got started with wedding videography.
Yeah, that's cool. What about you, Charles? How did you get started with videography?
Yeah, no, great question. And for me, I actually started in photography, primarily event coverage and wedding photography, eventually with HNL Studios. When we started to expand our photography, I knew that we wanted to be able to offer clients more options, and videography was the more obvious answer, for couples to be able to get both. And so I wanted to learn how to shoot video, and started learning the craft at our church Inspire in Waikele. I went on Sundays to practice because video and photo, although we're using the same tools, are completely different skill sets. A photographer will not be a good videographer, and a videographer will not be a good photographer off the bat, although we're still using the same tools. But because I already had the cameras, I really wanted to learn it. So at church, I was able to practice shooting services, shooting testimony videos. I started to fall in love with the craft as well, just learning the ability to storytell. I was, when I first started, I was really like, how do you even make someone cry, right? How does that even work? How do you get some kind of emotional response? And what's great is when I studied, I learned, and I got mentored at our church. I was able to kind of learn how to craft stories. And so we took that into HNL Studios, and we were able to create these meaningful, story-driven films for our couples. And that's how we got started.
Wow, that's really nice. Thank you. Thank you guys for sharing a little bit about your background in wedding film. And so I want to start breaking it down, and I want to start with unraveling the perks that come with wedding films. For Charles, being deeply involved in wedding videography, can you shed some light on the advantages that couples get from capturing their wedding on film?
Some of the advantages that come with capturing weddings on film over photography, which is usually what it's compared to, is that you actually get to see your wedding in motion, right? Video has a unique characteristic of allowing you to experience what you're seeing, right? Have you ever looked at a photo and starting to get really emotional? You can, right? You can get emotional, but it's oftentimes when we get emotional or cries when we're actually watching a video, your favorite movie or your favorite film. When we get pulled into the experience, film and video can do that for you. And so that's definitely one of the major advantages. And two is that it allows you to relive the day. Weddings and events that have a lot of family and friends can whiz by, and it can go by in an instant. and videos help you capture that, and also to be able to
Mm-hmm.
experience it again and again, over and over. And so those are some of the advantages that come with capturing a wedding on film.
Yeah, right. I totally agree with you, Charles, on that. What about for you, Zeb? Like for you, what are the benefits of capturing wedding on film?
I think definitely gets to take, like, you go back in time for those that experienced the event, and for those that didn't experience the event and get to see it, it like puts them there. Kind of piggybacking off of what Charles said, you relive the moment. It's something that you can cherish and hold on to for as long as you keep the file. And also, like, everyone that took part in the event, it kind of like freezes time, right? So for parents, grandparents, I mean, really anyone that attends the event, if they're no longer like with us, you're able to like cherish those moments. For me, I didn't have a videographer for my reception event. And so I just have photos, and I'm not downplaying photos at all. But yeah, the video aspect of that is just you just really, it's captivating. You really feel like you're there, reliving the moment. And you can, like I said, you can just share it with everybody, with your, just down the line, your children, your grandchildren, your great grandchildren, if you're able to. Yeah, it's just something that you can hold near and dear to your heart. That's definitely an advantage, I'd say, for me.
Yeah, and that's a really good way to put it, because wedding films are changing how we remember love stories. And it's from what I'm getting from you guys, it's no longer just about the photos now. It's about, bringing back the laughter, the tears, the joy, all in motion, and it's really been shaping how we share the love stories of two people coming together. But some couples may be hesitant about including a wedding film. So for you, Charles, how do you address common concerns and showcase the long-term value that a wedding film brings?
For sure. That's definitely a great question, and it is something that does get brought up quite a lot. Because usually couples, when they first get engaged, they're typically thinking about where they're gonna get married at, and then who's gonna be my photographer, and possibly getting into wedding planning, etc. And then video and videography kind of, sometimes come into play later on. For many couples, that's actually not the case. Sometimes they actually value video significantly, especially in this age of, us being on social media, being on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. Video is definitely a high priority for many couples as well, to be able to capture their wedding on video. So it really depends on the couple. And as far as to answer your question, it really depends if you see the value in video, right? You don't want to be paying for something that you don't see value in. But I believe most couples, when they really understand what video and wedding films can bring to their experience and being able to capture their day, I'm sure many of them would strongly consider it. And so when you're doing your wedding planning, a lot of it is based on priorities, because they're working with limited budgets. You might work with your fiance and talk about how much you'd like to be spending on certain key items, and it's important that with the items that are important to you, that you're able to place priority on them when creating your budget for your wedding film. So once again, I feel like it comes down into priorities and what's really important to you as far as how your wedding day unfolds.
Yeah. That's a very clear perspective, Charles, of setting your priorities when it comes to, what you really want for your wedding. And the best question you can ask yourself is, do you really want to have a wedding film? And of course, why would you want to have a wedding film? Now, I want to shift gears a bit. I want to ask Seb on this one. Now, with your experience like working with different couples, how do you tailor the film according to the unique personalities of each couple?
I think a lot of it has to do with when you meet them through video calls before the event. I mean, you get to know them, you get to understand the relationship between them too. Some people are a little bit more timid and more shy. Some people are very outgoing, like to be in the front stage center of the camera. So just kind of getting a feel for how they act towards each other, how they act towards you, and then the being on the day of, approaching them without any equipment, just making them feel comfortable, letting them know that you're there for them and that you want them to be as comfortable as possible. And just, I feel like just kind of almost being like a chameleon as you work with them, as you guide them, as you pose them, you kind of get familiar with like what goes smooth and what kind of doesn't. So I really think it's just like feeling it out as you go. But I do think it's important prep before, leading up to the event, understanding your couples as well.
Yeah, that's really good. And it seems like for each wedding, there's no one size fits all type of, a wedding film. There's no template with it. And crafting a special, like a unique narrative that actually resonates to the couple's individuality is really important, right? And with that, Charles, like how do you tailor film according to the unique personalities of each couple? Like how do you deal with it?
For sure. No, that's a great question, and it's important one to ask your wedding filmmaker or videographer, because they're in charge of telling your story. And so for us, we do see the value in creating something very personalized and authentic. And so how we do that is, one, initially we do, before the wedding, we do sit down with our couples and we do talk about their wedding, and we get to know them and find out what's important to them, like what part of the days really matter. Also, part of our wedding, or part of the wedding day, we take the time to ask them questions as well, to kind of get the story of of their wedding day out for the film. Also, in order for things to be authentic, it's important that they don't feel pressured. Our couples are relaxed, and that we take the time to ensure that they are in a place where they can be themselves, where we'll try to alleviate any stresses from their wedding day, ensuring that their authentic true self is able to be revealed on their wedding day. We want our couples to remember not the stress that they had, but the love that they felt, the experiences they had with their family and friends, the things that they've been hoping for to be told through video. And so a lot of it is actually on the responsibility of not only your wedding coordinator, but your photographer and filmmakers, because we actually are the ones who are spending the most time with the couples on their wedding day, documenting that. And so a key part of what we do is ensuring our couples are comfortable, feeling natural, and ultimately themselves.
Yeah. You know what I really love about what you both have mentioned is how important it is to be relational with your couples. And that having that relationship is ultimately the key to making it personalized, that wedding film to be very personalized for that couple. And because of that relationship that you build, before the wedding and even during the wedding, you're able to unravel who they really are, like we've said, Charles, their authentic selves. And yeah, I really love that I feel like it's very important. I also agree that it's an important element to consider. And beyond documenting the ceremony, this question is both for you Zeb and Charles. Now, what aspects of the wedding day do you believe are most captivating and emotional when captured on film, and why? I want to go with first.
I would definitely have to say anything that has to do with during the getting ready, if there are any letters that were written to one another from the bride and the groom. Those are usually times where you step aside from everyone and you have them sit in a separate room and capture them reading what the other has said to them. Very emotional moments. Also, the interviews that we capture, the story of it's just the bride and groom like talking to each other. Like we've had some people that were really nervous. We've had some people that were really like and nervous and excited. Some people that were just ready to be married. So just feeling out like what they're feeling in that moment, being able to throw that in a wedding film is just like I feel like it just wraps you in it and it makes you feel like you're part. I'd have to say that definitely is the heart jerker. The everyone take out your tissues, like you might cry at this point. It's definitely moving. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, definitely moving. Yeah, I agree on that. What about for you, Charles?
Yeah, no, I definitely agree for sure with Zeb. For our films at HNL Studios, we do a little bit of interviews with the couples, and I know for me, that has been some of the most amazing, hilarious, emotionally, you know, elements that we can create for our couples, and I'm so glad we have it. If you haven't seen one of our films, you should go see it. It's something very unique that we provide that allows you to kind of get pulled into the story. There's just something about human stories that just pulls you in and allows you to take part of it, right? And to share in the experience. I'm actually really proud that our films are not just a bunch of cinematic, shots and random clips and b-rolls. We actually really pay
Mhm.
attention to what story is unfolding in front of us, and we do our best to tell it. Some of the parts of the day I feel that really do capture the emotions are like either when the bride first starts to walk down the aisle and we are able to capture the groom seeing the bride for the first time. That's definitely something that's really special with wedding films, because usually when brides walk down the aisle and they didn't do a first look, they're actually seeing each other for the first time at the ceremony. There's so much happening, right? There's my mom and there's my cousin and my grandma, and his dad is looking at me, and like I see him down the aisle, and I don't know what's gonna happen. I can't believe this is going on. And but the video team is just locked in on you, locked in on your groom, and you're able to truly see his emotions
Hmm.
happening, right? Because when you're at the aisle, you're experiencing so many things, but when you watch your film, you can actually focus on certain aspects that you might have missed.
Mhm.
And so definitely key things are when we see the groom see the bride for the first time. Also during first dances, or father daughter dances, for me those are my favorite to document personally. Just the emotional relationship between a father and daughter is so special. I have a daughter myself, and I've had the chance to dance with my daughter before, but I don't know what that feels like to be able to see it, right? I know how it felt in the moment, right? But just to be able to see how that looks like in a documented film would be extremely special. And so for me, like those are the two times where you can really capture strong emotions in wedding films, like during first dances, father daughter dances, and the first look or walking down the aisle.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you. And I'm earning a lot of insights while you guys were talking. And what beyond my main takeaway with that is that beyond just filming the ceremony or the reception, what really makes the wedding video special are those genuine, unplanned moments. And you gotta anticipate them. You gotta know like when it's about to happen. Because that's when you capture the real emotion, like how the couples look at each other, or when they're walking down the aisle, when they're sharing their laughter, and those heartfelt hugs. These unscripted parts really is what captures the essence, the true essence of the wedding day. And yeah, I really love that. And so, as filmmakers in the industry, what advice do you have for couples who are considering investing in a wedding film and want to make the most of this unique aspect of their wedding experience? I want to go with Charles first.
Sure thing. Yeah. So once again, I feel, investing in a wedding film is money well spent. It allows you to be able to experience your wedding day in a way that you won't be able to experience any other way. We also do photography, and I can definitely say photography and wedding films are two completely different things. They're just two completely different experiences, and so being able to invest in a wedding film is definitely money well spent. It's also highly shareable as well. It's easy to be able to give this experience all the love, the tears, the laughter, the cries, the cheers, the crazy first dances, or like the grand entrance, the speeches, those experiences are captured in the wedding film, and you can easily share it to your friends or your family who weren't there. And so that's definitely something that is very special when it comes to wedding films. As far as things that you can consider, I would say that there's not too much I feel that you can do to kind of maximize your wedding film, but besides, ensuring that, the venue, if you chose a venue that you really love, the best way to capture venues is definitely on film. So you'll be able to maximize wedding videography with having, a beautiful venue and also your family as well. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, definitely. What about you, Zeb? Like, what are your thoughts? Like, what advice do you have for couples who are considering investing in a wedding film?
Well, me putting like me aside, looking back and seeing that I don't have video for my event kind of bums me out. I don't let it like hover over my head, but like, yeah, I definitely would have invested in it because it's just something that I could hold on to forever, look back, refill moments, like Charles said, because there's, like he said, there's so many emotions going on. There's so many people that are there. You're not able to just hone into like one thing besides that you're soon to be, well, your bride or your groom. Like that's where a lot of your attention goes, but you're not able to see a lot of the other things and feel the other things. So putting the videographer aside, I definitely think it's a great investment. I would invest in it. I encourage any of my family members to invest in it. And with HNL, like there's separate packages that can fit. So whether you can afford like a bigger package or a smaller package, you're getting something. And I think something is better than nothing. So there's flexibility with that. So I definitely encourage anybody if you're on the border of I'm not sure if I should, go for it. If you're dead set on like I really don't care, then I guess that's your choosing. But if you're on the border, I say definitely you won't regret it.
Yeah, I like that Zeb is speaking from his personal experience. And as someone who plans to get married like maybe in the future, I would definitely consider getting my own wedding film, cuz it's not just about recording a day, it's about capturing the love story, a love story that would last a lifetime. You're basically investing memories, for people and for your loved ones. And maybe someday, well, definitely someday they would be looking back with you on that very special day, and that really is very important. So I want to thank you, Charles and Zeb, for sharing your insights on how important it is to have a wedding film, and how valuable the long-term value that it can bring to you and also your future family is really important. So I do have 4 questions for the both of you, and this is something that we ask our guests each time on our podcast. So I want to ask Charles first. For you, what is your favorite resource that you recommend for couples planning their wedding in Hawaii?
For sure, that's a great question, and I'm definitely biased on this one. But our website, HNL Studios, www.hnlstudios, has a lot of resources for couples who are planning their wedding in Hawaii or even anywhere in the world. But primarily in Hawaii, we have a ton of resources. We have complete vendor listing. We have reviews on venues. We have tips on how to plan and budget. We have tips on how to be able to create your guest list and how to create a timeline. It's completely for free. There's no cost, and it's available to anyone who wants to be able to visit our website, www.hnlstudios.com. Another great resource is being able to jump on YouTube as well. I definitely recommend watching YouTube videos. Like, let's say you're really looking at a particular venue, or maybe I want to research more about this videography style of particular videography. I definitely would jump on YouTube and to be able to research that, to see what this venue has to offer, what people are saying about it, or what this videographer has done in the past. And maybe you can kind of be like, whoa, I really like that. I really love what that videographer did or that photographer did. So I would say definitely YouTube and Google. Google is definitely a great resource as well.
Thank you, Charles. That would be really helpful for our couples. But I want to ask another question. This one for Zeb first. For you, Zeb, like, what are some of your favorite hobbies or something that you like to do for fun when you're not, when you're not out there capturing or shooting weddings?
My favorite hobbies, I definitely like hiking. I enjoy hiking. I enjoy traveling. I love jumping in the ocean and swimming. I love fishing and hunting. I'm a hunter. I'm not very good at it, but I like playing my ukulele. I'm still learning how to play it. But yeah, I'd have to say my favorite hobby would probably have to be being outdoors. Hiking would probably be my favorite.
Outdoors. Any favorite hike you've done so far in the past?
On the island, I'd have to say Crouching Lion. It's probably one of my favorite. Beautiful view
Oh,
at the top, and it's not a hard hike. Like, it's very doable.
that's awesome. How about you, Charles? Any hobbies, like anything you like to do for fun, when you're not shooting any weddings?
For sure. I think Zeb needs to take me hunting. For sure.
Let's go.
For me, I like de-stressing activities. I like kickboxing, Muay Thai. Definitely really helps me relax and calm down. I like riding motorcycles. I haven't done it in a while, but I definitely should get out there again. I like riding motorcycles and paintball. I like shooting paintball, team sports. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Out of those, I think 3 activities, which one do you do the most?
It definitely be Muay Thai, kickboxing. I do it with my daughter, and it's something we can do together.
That's really nice. I have another question, you guys. Now, this one is I want to ask Charles first. Like, what do you
Mhm.
believe is the reason you do what you do, specifically being in the wedding industry and capturing weddings?
For sure. Yeah, the reason I do what we do is I'm a person who sees the value in love and sees the value in weddings and what it means. Like, I believe in the sanctity of weddings, that you're honoring God and honoring this person that you're devoted and wanting to spend the rest of your life with them. I believe that's something special. I believe that's something divine and God given. It's a gift, and there's really, you know, there's really no better position to be in to tell that story, right? To be able to tell the story of someone's love. And what's great is it's actually quite technical. I like playing with cameras. I like photography. I like composition. I love video, and it just, it marries them both, right? It's the emotional aspect of being human, and being able to capture it in a professional, technical, and skilled way for our couples to be able to cherish, not only for the rest of their lives, but for their children and their children's children. I feel like it's money well spent, and it's time well spent for sure, investing in people and their stories. I'll do it, as long as I can.
Wow, that's really nice. Thank you, Charles. What about for you, Zeb? What is the reason you do what you do? Being in the wedding industry, capturing weddings.
I think a lot of the reason why I do what I do is I've been given the opportunity the ability to use a camera, to learn how to use one, shoot photo and video. It's a skill set that I've acquired over time. And like Charles said, like weddings are very they're very special. Like there's definitely that bond between, a man and a woman like this. It's something that, God has built. God has built marriage for a man and a woman to be able to share together. And me being a person that has a skill set to be able to capture that moment for couples, like I think that's definitely something that I'm like called to do. I'm a softie, so being able to catch those like very intimate loving moments at their special event, at their wedding, I don't know, it's just something that like fills my cup really, and it's something that I'll continue doing until I can't anymore. Yeah, no matter really where I'm at, whether it's Hawaii or mainland or somewhere in Europe, I'd be happy to do it for anybody. So yeah.
Oh, thank you. Thank you guys. Thank you for sharing how much you really love like what you guys said. It's really important that capturing weddings isn't just a job for you. It's something that you really put yourselves into. And I guess what I want to ask now is where can people find you and get a hold of you? I want to ask, maybe let's ask Seb first.
Okay, currently I just have a social media up right now for Instagram. You can find me at Zebery Reyes. It's Zebery and Reyes, all lowercase, no spaces. You can find me on Instagram.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Zeb. Thank you. How about Charles? Where can we find you, Charles?
Yeah, for sure. So we shoot with HNL Studios, one of the co-founders. So definitely on Instagram, TikTok, and our website. So our website is www.hnlstudios.com. You can check out our body of work portfolio or possibly learn more about reserving us for your wedding. We're also on Instagram at HNL Studios and TikTok as well at HNL Studios. Primarily, we post our wedding films on TikTok as well as some shorts on YouTube. So we're also on YouTube as well. And then for me personally, if you want to follow my personal Instagram account, it's charles.hnl. So it's at charles.hnl on Instagram.
All right, awesome. Before I go wrap up this episode, is there anything you'd like to say to our listeners? How about you, Charles?
No, I just thank you for getting this far, and hope we've been able to offer some value and answer any questions that you might have, and just kind of just overall help you consider if wedding films are right for you, and to see if that's something that you want to pursue, and we want to be able to help you with that decision. Yeah. How about you, Zeb?
The same, really. Any questions you have, if you reach out to me on social media, I may not have all the answers, but I definitely know people you can talk to. Yeah, I think it's a great investment. Photo, video, whatever you choose, all the way. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for being awesome, Charles and Zeb, and thank you for, sharing your insights. Definitely valuable information for our couples getting married. And yeah, I just want to thank you guys for your time. If you're searching for wedding photography, videography, photo booth, DJ MC, or need wedding resources, go check out our website at www.hnlstudios.com. Also, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and drop a comment to stay on the loop for upcoming episodes. See you next time.